This is GARIS, Masculist, MGTOW flyers. That is 2 3-page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW. Written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 149, entitled, "I'm more than a cash machine, you bitch." Description. This flyer says it is not enough for a woman to be a fit, that's financially independent person, to be considered worthy by a man of having a twaytwef relationship with. She also needs to learn to suppress her evolved monodimensional criterion for judging a man, that is, according to his exploitability by her. Men despise being seen as cash machines for women and are walking away from such women in droves. The flyer itself. "I'm more than a cash machine, you bitch." I'm thinking of pushing the above title as a masculist slogan, which I've been doing. Remember these earlier flyers of mine were written 1-2 years ago. It's punchy, it's to the point, and is very representative of how millions of MGTOW/masculists are thinking about women in a gynocentric world, where most women, even fit women, still see men as exploitable objects, as cash machines, who are put on this earth to pay for women to have babies. A few videos back, Sandman made a comment that he still dates women, partly to do psychological experiments to confirm his MGTOW hypotheses about women's psychology, to confirm what he has learned from his own experience and from other MGTOWs. I do much the same with my own Chinese wife, whom I'm doubting with growing conviction I will still be married to some years from now. The difference between my current wife, my fourth, and most other women is that she's a real fit, financially independent person with her own paid-up apartment, her own car. This has dated. She retired and sold her car, and will retire in a few months with a good government pension. So it was about a year ago when I wrote this. Because she is a professor at a Chinese state university. So she is the type of female that masculists prefer to have relationships with, if they choose to have relations with women at all. That is, if they're not fully MGTOW. But despite her being a fit, she's still a pain in the ass for other reasons, namely her female nature. She still judges men by their exploitability and will not be sexually attracted to a man whom she feels she cannot extract resources from. So being fit is not sufficient for a woman to be considered worthy by a masculist to have a twaytwef, that is 2A2F, equals 2 apartments, 2 fips, relationship with. A woman also needs to suppress her evolved criterion for judging men by his exploitability. If she looks on a man as a cash machine whom she expects to buy things for her, then masculists reject such women. My current wife is such a woman, and I'm getting increasingly fed up with her for her fluffy fit attitudes. She's obviously fit in terms of her own career. She satisfies the definition of financial independence, but she still has fluffy attitudes towards me. She judges me almost exclusively in financial terms. Now a bit of bio. I lost half my savings to my previous Chinese fluffy thief wife and could not get that money back due to the corruption of the Chinese court system. My previous Chinese wife was the daughter of a general who was on the Long March with Mao. Her sisters are CCP members, and one of them is a big lawyer in her city. I am strongly suspicious that some string-pulling, guanxi, pronounced guanxi, went on behind the scenes. Guanxi, by the way, is string-pulling, favoritism, cronyism, and China's full of it. Less so with the younger generation, thank God. Went on behind the scenes so that I could not get my money back. I was also blacklisted from ever getting a prof job again in the state university system in China after I told my university president that few Western profs would come to China until it democratized, and that most such Western profs know that Mao killed 80 million of his own citizens. The Great Famine, The Laogai, that's concentration camps for political prisoners. There are 3 to 5 million political prisoners in China today. Cultural Revolution, etc. He emailed me saying that what I said was illegal, and a few months later my contract was not renewed. So, fuck China. So suddenly I'm rather poor. My Chinese wife starts seeing me as poor. The sex dries up. She becomes bad-tempered and a divorceable bitch. But I'm stuck with her at least until I can get a green card. After that I may decide to leave her. It depends on how she calms down after her menopausal crazy period stops. If she stops nagging and is at least neutral, then I can tolerate her and can then have a bit of company instead of being totally alone in a culture that I have no respect for at all. But at least China is poor, so I could afford, given the low cost of living, to retire 10 years earlier than is usual in a rich democratic Western country. What really pisses me off is that she seems incapable of seeing me, the person, as a multifaceted human being. I'm more than a cash machine. Jesus Christ, a few days ago I got interviewed on RT, Russia Today. So the video that RT will put up on the internet will get 1 billion with a B views, they told me. I don't believe that, but anyway, maybe 1 million. I have many qualities and am quite famous in certain respects. I'm considered a world expert on species dominance, my term. That is, should humanity or our intelligent machines be the dominant, that is, most intelligent, species. I study PhD level pure math and math physics and make YouTube lecture videos on these topics to teach the world for free, which is work I consider to be far more significant than when I was a classroom prof churning out largely unread research papers. Actually, that's not true. I do quite well on ResearchGate. I mean, one of my papers, and it's only been up about a year and a half, has already had 700 reads. Anyway, that's just a bit of trumpet blowing there. The average published research paper is read by one other person, stats show. That's what I believe then, anyway. But despite these qualities, my current Chinese wife cares only about my financial level. This monodimensional judgment on her part of who I am makes me very angry, divorceably angry. I am more than a cash machine. I'm a human being with many facets, and if women can't see those other facets, then they're going to pay a horrible price in the near future as millions, later billions of men wake up to the reality that women evolved to judge men monodimensionally, that is according to men's exploitability and little else. The top criterion women use to judge men is men's exploitability. How much money can I extract from this man? Oh, he's useless. That is, females speak for, he doesn't have any money. I can't get anything out of him. This fluffy attitude of women I find contemptible, and I lash out against it, and so do millions of other men, especially those who have had their MGTOW/masculist consciousness raised. There is enormous power in ideas. We live by little else. All of us are slaves to ideas. We live our lives following ideas, consciously or unconsciously. A powerful new idea can spread like a virus, infecting the minds of millions, billions of men. That idea, that women judge men by their exploitability, is one such idea, what the MGTOWs call the red pill. I consider this idea of the masculist to be the single most important to have come out of that movement, and will shake the earth. There are already millions of MGTOW/masculists on the planet who are disgusted by being judged by women exclusively by the size of their wallets. They are disgusted and are voting with their feet. Even fit women who don't have to be parasites of men to stay alive are still fluffy in their attitudes towards men. So fluffy fips and fluffies will pay the price when millions of men just walk away from them, until these women learn to change their criteria for judging men. Doing that will be difficult for women, because they evolved to be fluffies in their attitudes towards men, so they'll be fighting their biology and millions of years of female evolution. Women were dependent on men for their physical survival in the distant past. Women were stuck at home with the babies and small children, so could not hunt. They depended on men to give them protein. There have been experiments done on women in PET machines, brain scanners, that show that women actually experience pleasure when their man explodes at them when she is being a bitch. That male anger shows her that he still cares enough about her to be angered by her bitchiness. MGTOWs call such behaviour by women shit tests. That is, women tossing out barbed comments to test whether her man has not become indifferent to her, which in the distant past may have become fatal for her and her babies through lack of protein coming from her man. But women are human beings, some people say, but I have my doubts. I prefer to call women femalians. So they have brains that can learn and adapt. Women now need to learn to adapt to the very real anger that men are expressing increasingly as they wake up to the idea that women, even fit women, judge men by their exploitability and little else. Men's exploitability is far and away the top criterion that women use to judge men's sexual attractiveness, experiments show. But if women keep using this monodimensional fluffy criterion to judge men, then they will pay a horrible price. Fluffies will rot on the shelf to extinction. That's the main political goal of the masculists, who won't even twaytwef with a fluffy, not even sex them, to punish them for being fluffies, that is, immoral, parasitic, manslaving vermin. But fit women too have fluffy attitudes towards men, and have to be taught by MGTOW/masculists that if they want to even twaytwef with a man, they must learn to suppress their monodimensional criterion for judging a man, that is his exploitability. Otherwise they too will rot on the shelf. MGTOWs, and particularly masculists, need to strongly confront women with masculist attitudes that if a woman treats a man almost exclusively as a cash machine, she will be dumped. She will be hated and crossed off. Women need to learn a lesson that goes against their biology, and that is, men are more than cash machine, you bitches. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de GARIS. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. YouTube channel name de GARIS, Masculist, MGTOW, Flyers. Ciao.